Jen Beauty. My name is Jennifer, and here on my channel I like to chat about all things beauty and makeup. Today I have my palette roundup for palettes that I used in the month of February. So, my January palette roundup is going up on the same day because I filmed it, I edited it, it got uploaded to YouTube, but guess who never went in and published it? This girl. So I figured it would just make more sense, since I was so late, to do it on the same day. Then you can have a back-to-back feature if you so desire. So I'm not ranking them anymore, but I will tell you my thoughts on each palette. And if I had to pick a favorite, and if I had to pick a least favorite, which one I would pick. But it definitely does take me way less time and effort and thought than when I have to lay out like 20 palettes and figure out least favorite to most favorite and justify why. This is not an eyeshadow palette, but it deserves an honorable mention. It is the Blend Bunny Noctilucent Highlight Palette. Isn't she pretty? Let's see if you can see any of the pretty shifties. So it smells weird. Like, I'm not gonna lie, it smells weird. I don't find that I like this very much for highlight. I find each shade is quite glittery. And I don't like it for a highlight. However, it is gorgeous as an eyeshadow topper. So I've really been loving it for that. So like, okay, I just kind of like smeared out this. Yeah, we're like glitter city here, if you can see it. So that's why she won't be going on my cheeks, because currently I'm wearing a glittery highlight and it's not very flattering. I'm just gonna say it. It's not good for me. So this I keep in my like singles pretty topper thingy drawer. Let's start with the small palettes first. I have the LA Girl 4Play Eyeshadow Quad in the shade So Sweet. I use this in my Full Face of Drugstore Get Ready With Me, and it is a cute palette, but I don't think that this would be like a repurchase. Like if I knew how this performed and suddenly like I finished the whole thing or it disappeared, I don't feel like I would need this back in my life. Like, I don't even know if I need it in my life now. Like, I probably could pass it on and be okay with that and not miss it. However, it's a cute little eyeshadow palette for drugstore. I have the Natasha Denona Mini Love palette. She is cute. I really liked having this one out for Valentine's Day. I like the look that I made with it. I like the formula. Not much more to say than that. It's Natasha Denona, and I like Natasha Denona eyeshadows and color stories, so yeah. I have the Kaleidos Futurism 5 Electro Turquoise. So a lot of people do not like this palette because, like, what do you do with this bright orange and these turquoise shades? And I actually really like it. This blue, like, so gorgeous. So I think I have a picture to share of this one because I shared it on Instagram and it was so pretty. So I really liked the look I did with this. I used the orange as an inner corner highlight, and the rest of my look was the blue with the deep brown in that palette on the outer corner. I have this Viseart Petite Pro Troy? Shit. This. that palette. I'm struggling tonight. This is like the 5th video that I have filmed. I got this from Ipsy. One shade did come a little worse for the wear, but I like this palette. I really like the look that I did with this one. I don't think I took a picture. I actually didn't take many pictures, if we're being honest here. But it turned out really cute. It's my first real Viseart palette that I've had. I had the like all matte neutrals, the big one that everyone got in BoxyCharm, and I actually gave that away. I didn't want it anymore because I never once used it. I didn't even swatch it. But I wanted one of these little ones to try out and see what I think, and I really do like it. I am kind of sad that the shade came busted, but I just kind of like smushed it back in there. I have the Tartelette Jewel palette. She looks like this on the outside, and she looks like this on the inside. I really like this palette a lot. I think it was Lauren May Beauty that keeps like talking about this one, and it's her fault that I bought 2 of these little bitty Tarte palettes. Like, look at these 2 shades right here. Like, we're close to Kaleidos shimmer territory there. So I really like this palette. I feel like it's a really easy, I feel like it's really easy to put together a look with that palette. Focus on me! Thank you. I feel like it's really easy to put a look together with this palette. I think it's struggling to focus because it's so like shiny. You know, it's a 6 pan, so it's like I get a tiny bit of choice and variety, and it includes something deeper, and it has a couple shimmers, 2 different finishes. You've got a light pink, a little brown. She's pretty. It's a very easy like before work palette for me. Then I have the ColourPop Secret Admirer palette. This was the Valentine's Day release for 2022. I actually waited quite a while to purchase this until it went on sale because I kept eyeing it and kept talking myself out of it. Like, girl, you're not gonna wear that. You're not gonna use that. I wasn't totally wrong, but it's so pretty. My daughter actually did my makeup with this palette, and it actually turned out pretty good. So I like it. I definitely want to play with it some more. I use the Huda Beauty Rose Gold Palette Remastered. I don't know what to say about this except that she's a solid piece of work. Gorgeous, gorgeous shimmers, lovely mattes, and I like every look that I make with this. Like, I've never been upset with anything I have done with this palette. They are very beautiful. The shimmers are kind of like, they're soft, but they're almost a little sticky. I don't know if my formula is starting to turn, but they still look super metallic and wet and really beautiful. So as long as she's performing, she's going on my face. That sounded wrong. Sorry. All right, next we have the Nomad Berlin Underground eyeshadow palette. This was like, I think one of the first eyeshadow palettes I got from BoxyCharm. This was also a BoxyCharm palette. I have decluttered most of my subscription box palettes, but like back in the day, I feel like they had some pretty good eyeshadow palettes, and then suddenly it kind of went to crap. This palette, I was kind of like on the border about, like I couldn't decide. It's like I'm drawn to the color story because it's grungy, and I'm drawn to the palette because like it has these like badass type of like embossing on the shades. I really like this shade right here, and I really love this shade. But I really like the look that I made with it. My struggle with this palette is there's not a lot of mattes, but there are some satins that you can use as you would a matte. So I just need to play with it some more. It's cute. I don't need to get rid of it. I have plenty of room for now. Then I have the Tarte Amazonian Clay Glamour palette. This was in a set. It came with this one and the Gilded palette, which I have not used the Gilded one yet. I mean, I put it on my I put it on my daughter, but that doesn't count as a use for me. I really liked how my look turned out with this. I really like this row down here. It was on sale for like, I don't know, I think like 30% off. And then, like I had some stuff in my cart. I put this in my cart and I put the blush palette in my cart, but then I left. And then I got an email that's like, hey, how about 20% off? And I was like, yo, okay. So it included the sale items on that 20% off. It's a beautiful palette. I don't think that this set is worth full price for the holiday. Although, I mean, when you consider like $54 for 2 Tarte palettes, that's still not bad. I think they way overstate the value of their palettes, and I think that's part of why it always feels like a ripoff. But even $54 at 20% off is still like a decent value when you consider you get 2 larger size Tarte palettes. So I don't know. I thought the quality was good. I really like the look that I did with it. I know a lot of people kind of crapped on Tarte's holiday release this year, but I enjoyed it. I have the Blend Bunny Surge palette. So this I used in a multi-channel collab put on by Riri from the Brutally Honest Beauty. I had a lot of fun with this. I like how the mattes perform. I only used this shimmer, the shade Limitless. I really liked it, but I did hear that some of the other shimmers maybe aren't quite as good as that one. So I'm interested to keep playing with this and keep trying it out, but I really liked it. I do like the Blend Bunny formula quite a bit. I think I own 3 palettes by Blend Bunny now, and I'm very happy. I used the Hella palette from Odin's Eye. This is the collaboration with Angelica Nyqvist. And I stuck to mainly like these pinks in the palette. And then I think I used like these 2 shades, or maybe this one and this one. In any case, I really liked the look that I did with this. I love Odin's Eye's shimmer formula. I like the mattes in this palette a lot. So it's definitely one of my favorites. Flipping back to Tarte real quick, and this is the last Tarte palette. I did this in no order. Like, honestly, it's kind of in the order that I use them a little bit because I just put them in my organizer that way. Although I had to do some rearranging as like things didn't fit. This is the Tartelette Energy palette. This was a gift from my husband for Valentine's Day. I really like this palette. It's very beautiful. I really like the look that I did with this. I used it pretty much the next day that I got it. It has that beautiful tart smell, like hot cocoa, but like not made yet, like hot cocoa when you first open the packet of cocoa and like it kind of wafts towards you. I used this shimmer in my look and I really liked how it came out. I'm running out of space. It has kind of like a gold base to it, or maybe like a brown base to it, but it's a very beautiful pink. It's not really showing up on camera because it is like 11 o'clock here. And I have all artificial light and not enough of it. In any case, of course, outer packaging, like 10 out of 10 for me. I think it's really beautiful. I really enjoy Tarte's eyeshadows. There are a couple that I had that were kind of just duds for me. I just didn't enjoy them very much. And I have since decluttered those. So I feel like the Tarte palettes that I have now, I really like. I have the ColourPop Sweet Talk palette. This is just a staple for me. I did a peach and brown look and I loved it. It wasn't quite sunset vibes, but it was just like very simple and beautiful. I felt kind of semi-glamorous without being overdone. Hopefully that makes sense. I think this is the last palette I used in a Get Ready With Me, but I could be wrong. I have the BH Cosmetics Lost in Los Angeles palette. This I used in a palette bingo. I've used it in a palette bingo twice now. For me, this is more of a companion palette than anything. It doesn't feel like a standalone palette for me. And it's not necessarily that there's no deep shades. It's that it's all the same tone. Like it's all of the mattes are in the same depth. There is nothing that is particularly lighter or darker. And even in the shimmers, it's the same. But I can't bring myself to like declutter it because there's some shimmers in here that just totally speak to me. And I don't have them or anything like them in any other palette or single. So she's staying. Also, a lot of people tend to lean to this one for collabs or referencing or comparisons. So even though I don't like to keep things solely for YouTube purposes, this is one that I lean, like, it's not the only reason that I keep it, but it does factor into my decision on why I keep this palette. Another Natasha Denona, this is the only other one. I have the Natasha Denona Love palette. Oh, I lied. I did use this in a collab. I used this in my collab with Erica Ashley. I had so much fun. Her look turned out way better. Like, I'm going to follow what she did step by step next time. I like the color story on this. I know this one gets kind of some crap from people because they don't like the color story, but it has like these warmer pinks and reds, and then it has like these cooler purples. I actually like the combo of the purple and the pinks together, or the pinks and the reds. I think it's really pretty. I do sometimes struggle to combine warm and cool tones. But the Natasha Denona palettes are kind of getting me outside of my comfort zone and helping me to kind of like think outside the box on how I want to put them together. One more BH Cosmetics palette, and then I have a couple more indies. I have like a palette avalanche right now. From BH Cosmetics, I have the Miss Claus, the Lit List palette. This was a gift from Andy Does Stuff in friend mail. Absolutely freaking love this palette. I have used it twice, and both times I absolutely love the looks that I did with this. Thank you so much again to Andy, not just for this palette, but just the thoughtfulness of it really means a lot to me. And now I get to have a good memory every time I use this palette. Of my friend Andy, and also it's gorgeous. It is discontinued. Then I have from Blend Bunny Cosmetics the All Done Up palette. This I wanted from the moment they sneak peeked it, and I waited and I waited, and then they were like, surprise, we're having a sale, and I was like, oh, okay, here's my sign. I used the green row. So I used all of the shades in the green row to make a look, and it turned out so stinking pretty. Again, I felt like I had like a very kind of glamorous, sultry kind of look. I felt done up. It's aptly named. I really like the mattes in this palette, and I really enjoyed the shimmer that I used. I have not used this whole palette yet, so I can't speak to the quality of all of it, but I really did like it. I have the Glamlite Strawberry Shortcake Berrylicious palette. This was a Christmas gift from my beautiful 8-year-old daughter. This shade is like freaking everything to me. I can't help it. I have to swatch it. It is so sparkly, and it's like, it's got like a silverish blue reflect in it. I did like a pink and green look with this, which I've been dying to do, but you can also do a beautiful like berry look or an all green look. Like you can just follow the rose if you want, or you can mix and match. Like I really love this palette. I am so thankful that she got this for me. And then finally, I have the La Cienega. I'm too tired for this. This palette from Adept Cosmetics. I apologize. Sometimes I do try to practice these with like Google Translate or whatever, like how you can press the sound to make it pronounce it. But it doesn't matter. Like I still screw it up. Okay. This was in the mystery box, but it will be released sometime this year, if not already. The mystery box was a disappointment. I'll try to link it up in the cards. I think the cards are that way. I'll find out the hard way, huh? Talking all about how I did not appreciate the mystery box very much. The palette itself, I've seen some feedback that people didn't really like it. I like that the upper part is kind of in quads. I can't remember what shades I used. I think I used like this deep black matte. I think I stuck to these shades. I may have dipped into that one. I can't remember. It looks barely used because I've only used it once. And then I swatched all the shimmers for the video, and then I swatched them again to decide which one I wanted to use. I actually very much like Adept's shimmer formula. There are two different kinds of formula in this palette. There's one that's more sticky, kind of like the shadows that are in Huda's palette. And then there's one that's a lot more firmly pressed, and it's the duochrome. And it's like, it's not as sticky. And the duochrome ones are kind of like my preference for shades, because I don't like a super sticky, oily shade. So this is the stickier one, and this is the harder pressed one. What's funny is this one looks like a straight silver when I first pick it up, but when I swatch it out, it looks like it has a green undertone to it. I don't know if it's supposed to, but mine sure does. I don't know if the gold palette is throwing it off. It's this shade here. It looks like it's supposed to be like a straight silver. I don't know if it's supposed to have like a green base or undertone to it. I don't know. I'm not sure what I would use this blue with. This feels very out of place in this palette, unless you do like blue and the black over here. But these shadows are magnetic, and so are the shadows in all of their other palettes, so you can mix and match and rearrange them. So I appreciate having some different colored mattes because they stopped selling their singles. They said it was too costly, which really, really sucks because I was just getting into Adept and figuring out that I really liked some of their shimmer formulas. So that was kind of disappointing to find out. I thought maybe they were just out of stock, but no, they did away with them completely. Which I understand. I wish like companies where it's too costly to sell like singles, I wish they would sell bundles. Like Sydney Grace does a monthly bundle, and I think people are totally fine. Like here is a bundle of 4 shadows, you know, so I get it if it's not cost effective for you to pack, you know, one single at a time. But it makes sense to be like, okay, well, here's a pack of 4 and they're already pre-made. We're not going to have someone sit there and pick through all of our singles to pack one shadow at a time. I'm just throwing it out there. But you know, I don't run a business and it's not my business, so I'm just the consumer. So let me know what you think. Have you used any of the palettes that I talked about today? Oh, I forgot to talk about a favorite. I think I would have to say my absolute most favorite look came from this Kaleidos Quint. And then my least favorite look, I think, came from... I'm not going to count like the palette bingo because that's not fair to the palette itself. I think my least favorite look probably did come from the LA Girl. I think that this is just not quite my style for this color story. I did talk about it in more detail in that video. So if you like this video, I hope you'll give it a big thumbs up. And if you'd like to see more makeup and beauty content from me, hit that subscribe button and I'll have more coming at you. I hope wherever you are, you have a wonderful day. Bye.